Okay, thank you, Pudha. Okay, so we'll start the lecture. So today we have 69 students. So I hope this will continue in the future lessons as well and till the end of the session. So please keep in mind that, so first I should say that this is not a very easy subject. Okay, if you consider about the marks of the previous pageant students, so this is not a very easy subject. And scoring mark is bit difficult. Okay, in අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම lectures in the and we'll try to discuss case studies as much as possible within the given time period. ඒ නිසා එන්න මොකද මේකේ තියෙන standard එකේ තියෙන වචන කඩපාඩම් කරලා exam එකට ලියන්න බෑ. Okay, because the questions will be based on case studies and by referring to the case studies you need to provide the answers. Okay, මේක ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ළමයි fail වෙනවා. Okay, theory ලියන දෙන subject එකක් වුණා. Because of the nature of the subject, most students get failed. Okay, the other reason is most of y'all are not working in the audit firms. Okay, there are practical side so you can't get a support from that aspect as well. Okay, therefore please attend to the lectures. We won't be recordings also. Okay, and remember the audit standards, year by year also certain audit standards get updated. Therefore, we use the latest one, so no point of using the last year's lecture materials. Yeah. Okay. So on the LMS page, I have provided the link for the auditing standard. Okay. To this last MD auditing standard page, I have given the link. Therefore, we are not uploading the standard separately to the LMS. We may discuss the standard separately upload to the LMS. Standard refer for your further knowledge, I have given the link. So go to the link and you can download the auditing standard. Okay, I hope those are clear. Yeah, so we'll continue the lesson. So today we are going to discuss about the Sri Lanka Standard on Quality Management. Okay, that is SLS QM. So can you remember, like before introducing this SLS QM, what was the applicable standard? Chartered එහෙම කරන අයට මතකද? මේක introduce කරන්න කලින් මොකද්ද තිබ්බ auditing standard එක කියලා? This was effective from 1st Jan 2020. Yeah, fine. This we call as SLSQM, Sri Lanka Standard on Quality Management. Okay, before this we had Sri Lanka Standard on Quality Control. We call that as SLSQC. Give me 1 minute. The disturbance. So before this, we had the SLSQC. Okay, Sri Lanka Standard on Quality Control. Okay, from the quality control, we have moved to quality management now from last year onwards. Okay, quality management move. Okay, so let's discuss why that is important during the lecture. Okay, so here we have two standards. We are going to discuss two standards, that is SLSQM1 and the other one is SLSQM2. So today I'll be basically focusing on SLSQM1. Okay, so here these are the learning outcomes. So to study the reasons for applying SLSQM and assess and analyze the importance of quality controls. Yeah, so let's say that you are an audit client. Okay, overall audit client කෙනෙක්. So why you choose a big three audit firm compared to a smaller or a medium scale audit firm? Okay, let's say your JKH. Okay, or JKH. Okay, so why you go for E&Y, not for medium or smaller scale audit firm? Why? A. Hmm? Summoning larger scale clients like summoning smaller scale audit firm and that thing. We had previously Big Four, now we have Big Three audit firms operating in Sri Lanka. So why why usually larger scale audit clients do not select the smaller scale audit firms? Why? Okay, reputation good, experience and exposure. Okay, what else? It's a right. Yeah, okay, experience and resources. Okay, so all of your answers are almost similar. Okay, වැඩිපුරම larger scale big three audit firm එකකට යන්නේ because of their reputation and also because we have that image in our mind that they do their job properly. Okay, ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ වැඩේ හරියට කරනවා. Okay, they have good resources and they have good level of experience and they have a good reputation of doing their job well. Okay, simply if you consider all those, that is the quality of the service that they provide. Okay, අපි ඔක්කොම ටික එකට එකතු කරලා ගත්තොත් experience, resources, reputation, everything we can take under one term, that is quality. Okay, quality of the service that they provide. Okay, so it's like when you select an airline. Okay, if you select an airline, if you don't go low budget airlines. Okay, because you are not sure. Yeah, so you always want to go with like kind of high level or medium level uh, airlines companies. Okay, ඒ වගේම තමයි මෙතනදීත් ඔයගලන්ට assurance එක හරියටම දෙනවා කියන්න පුළුවන්. හරිය හොඳට quality එක maintain කරනවා කියන්න පුළුවන් company එකට තමයි අපි යන්නේ. Yeah, so simply that is again the audit quality. Yeah, so this I have taken from KPMG. So they, as per them, so the quality is how they make the difference. Okay, so how they keep their name among the other audit firms, so within the industries, they differentiate themselves from other audit firms by quality. Okay, because they provide a high quality service to the customer. Okay, so high quality service in the sense, so they do their audit procedures properly and they do their auditing job role properly. Yeah. Okay. So then, if you can understand from the things that we discussed up to now, what is audit quality? Yeah. දැන් මේ වෙනුවෙන් discuss මේ වෙනකන් discuss කරපු ඒවායි ඔයගලන්ට ඔළුවට ගිය විදිහට audit quality එක මොකක්ද simply. Okay, I don't want any definitions from anywhere. I just want to take a small explanation from your end. Video is not working, no? My video is not working. Yeah. කියන්න බෑන ඕගලන්ට දැන් මෙච්චර වෙලා කරපු ඒවායින් මොකක් හරි ඔලුවට ගියා නම් කියන්න බෑන ඔඩිට් ක්වොලිටි එක කියන්නේ මොකද්ද කියලා. Didn't Understand anything? No. Hmm? No idea about the audit quality. Any questions from the things that we discussed up to now? මොනවද ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවද අපි දැන් මෙවනකන් discuss කරපු ඒ වගේ? No? Okay, I got several answers. Yeah? Okay, how well the audit firm audit performed and how reliable it is. Okay, good. Doing audit properly and carefully. Okay. Accuracy of the audit procedures, giving most reliable audit opinion. Very good, watchers. Y'all actually better than previous batches. Okay. කලින් හිටපු batches වලට වඩා නම් හොඳයි. Any other answers? Carrying out audit procedures under a quality framework. Very good. Someone at the end. Yes. No. Carrying out. Okay, good. එච්චරයිද? Doing audit procedures in standard level. Okay. So who determines that standard? So we have, so I got several answers as doing their procedures within the given the framework and the procedures in standard level. Okay. Who decided? CA? Sure. Is it CA or within CA something else? Okay. So as so I can say, okay. Okay. So when it comes to the audit quality, it is actually the accuracy, reliability, and thoroughness of the audit procedures performed. Okay. So then, so that is a simple, very simple definition. Okay. So there, this, as you all said, so those audit procedures should be performed in accordance with Sri Lanka auditing standards. Okay, issued by Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka. Okay, and then also this SLSQM also defines how a audit firm should develop its own quality management framework. Okay, so the audit firms are required to perform their audit in a high quality. Okay, quality can maintain to ensure the quality. There should be a quality management framework within the organization. Okay, so this Sri Lanka auditing standard SLSQM1 defines how the company or audit firm should develop a proper quality management framework within the entity. Okay, quality management framework එක කොහොමද හදාගන්නේ කියලා, what are the minimum requirements of this audit quality management framework is explained by Sri Lanka, this SLSQM. Okay, that is included in the SLSQM1 and 2 both. Okay, so the next question is why this quality management is important for a business organization? Why quality is important for a business organization? Okay, no, not a business organization, to an audit firm, sorry. Why quality is important to an audit firm? ඇයි ඕනි audit firm එකකට quality එක? Yes, why it is required for an audit firm? Yeah. Okay, I can record, but recording will not be given.
Recording
okay?
in progress.
Thank you for reminding. I will record it, but we are not going to give the recordings. They don't request for the recordings. Thank you. Oh, 102, but to reduce audit risk, to maintain their reputation, stay reputation, and gaining trust from the stakeholders. Okay, building trust, protect reputation, increase the confidence of investors, regulators, and other stakeholders to maintain the reliability. Yeah, very good. Okay. So ultimately, what do you think? To provide a true and fair view of the company's financial statement is a social responsibility of the audit firm or not? Is it a social responsibility of the audit firm or not? What do you think? Yes, they get the money from the client, but still, isn't it a social responsibility? Because not everyone can perform audit on the financial statements. Okay, so only the auditors can do that. Okay, and only partners can provide with or sign the audit report. So ultimately, because what if when the financial statements are materially misstated, if the auditor provides an opinion as the financial statements are not materially misstated, අත්තටම materially misstated, හැබැයි opinion එකක් දෙනවා financial statements are not materially misstated කියලා. Okay, so then yeah, okay, yeah. It is actually a part of the audit firm social responsibility as well, because by looking at the financial statements, so they look at the auditor's report as well. And what if the auditor provides incorrect audit opinion, basically? Okay, so that mislead the decision makers who take the decisions based on the financial statements as well. Okay, so actually that is a part of the auditors are accountable to the whole society. Okay, අපි වැරදි audit opinion එකක් දුන්නොත්, so that has a huge impact actually. Okay, so when it comes, so that is a part of this audit quality as well. Okay, so let's see, I have listed down the main importance of having audit quality. Ensure compliance with auditing standards. Okay, so audit should be performed in compliance with auditing standards. So if the company has a good quality management framework within the entity, it ensures the compliance with the auditing standards. Okay, and then ensure the continuity of the audit engagement in the future years as well. Yeah, and then fundamental to the effective functioning of the capital markets and key to investor and public trust. Okay, so why is it? Okay, I make again here fundamental to the effective functioning of the capital markets and is key to investor and public trust. Okay, which ultimately leads to the achieving of the social responsibility. Yeah. Why is it fundamental to the effective functioning of the capital markets? Yes. Yeah, okay. So here, but our ultimate objective is to provide a true and fair view of the financial statement. Yeah, true and fair view of the financial statements, right? So here, what will happen is, so when the organization, when the audit firm has a good quality management framework, so that ensures that they do their job properly and they do not provide an incorrect audit opinion. Okay, so what happens with this Enron? I hope you all can remember what happened with the Enron. Okay, when the financial statements were materially misstated, the auditors gave, who were the auditors of the Enron? What was the audit company? Enronic auditors la kawada? Mo tananda. Yeah, very good. Arthur Anderson. Okay, so Arthur Anderson. So actually, they provide an incorrect audit opinion regarding the company. So what finally that led to the collapse of the company and as well as the audit firm as well. Okay, so remember, always providing incorrect audit opinion finally leads to the collapse of the business organization, which also collapse the public trust about the organization and as well as about the auditors as well. Okay, හිතනවානේ අද මේගොල්ලෝ audit කරලා තියෙන හැබැයි audit කරලා තියෙද්දිත් මේ financial statements වල වැරදි තියෙනවා නේ public එකේ trust එක නැති වෙනවා. Okay, so this is so the Arthur Anderson company, this huge company, so they had a revenue and a profit which is even greater than Sri Lankan overall GDP. Okay, at that time. Yeah. So the collapse of such a big company actually led to the collapse of it had a big hit on the capital market as well, the stock market as well. Okay, okay, so remember, maintaining a good quality control mechanism within the organization is important when providing a true, correct audit opinion on the financial state. Okay, so this is the final one is actually a very minor reason make the shareholders of the company happy. Okay, that is basically so the shareholders trust about the audit firm. Yeah. So any point which you didn't get out of this after? Yeah. Any questions? No? If you have any questions, please ask. I know it's a bit difficult to listen to this lecture at this time. And we have almost theory part to cover. Okay. So then remember, so we have some important definitions to be discussed. When it comes to this SLSQM, this is not applicable to all the companies. Okay. This is actually applicable to the audit firms. Okay. Make applicable when audit firms are to විතරයි. Make our audit company audit firm audit companies this SLSQM is not applicable. Okay, remember, keep that in mind. Don't misunderstand that this is applicable to any of the companies and they can use this SLSQM to develop a quality management framework. This standard is actually applicable to audit firms. Okay, so all the audit firms, when providing audit services to the clients, they should implement this standard within the organization. Yeah. So first important definition that you need to know is deficiency in the firm's system of quality management. Okay. So when it comes to a deficiency එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ මොකක්ද අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන්? Yes. Right. Deficiency, what do you mean by a deficiency? Deficiency එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් inadequate, okay. Weakness. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So there is simply deficiency in the sense. So there is inadequacy or weakness, there shortage in the firm system of quality management. Simply that this SLSQM has not been fully adapted in the business organization. Okay. There is some loopholes in the firm system of quality management. Okay. We say that there are deficiencies in the firm system of quality management. The first one is, so if any of these are there, we say that there is a deficiency in the firm system of quality management. Okay. The first one is the quality objective required to achieve the objective of the system of quality management is not established. Okay, a quality objective required to achieve the objective of the system of quality management is not established. Okay, so there should be quality objectives within the organization. Okay, quality objectives කියන එක තියෙනවා. Okay, what do you mean by a quality objective is it is actually an outcome in relation to the components of the system of quality management to be achieved by the firm. Okay, the component of there are 8 components of this quality management framework. I'll be taking that later on. Okay, මම ඒක පස්සේ කියලා දෙන්නම්. What are the components of the quality management framework? So remember, the quality objective is actually a particular outcome in relation to the quality components of the system to be achieved by the firm. Okay, for example, the company okay, the audit firm needs to establish good governance. Okay, governance within the audit firm. Okay, so that can be one of the quality objectives. Okay, and remember, මේවා කටපාඩම් කරන්න එපා. No, එහෙම කළා කිසිම දෙයක් කරන්න බෑ. Okay, මේවා කටපාඩම් කරන්න ඉන්න එපා. එක්සෑම් එකට මම කිසි විදියකින් සජෙස්ට් කරන්නේ නැහැ එකක්වත් කටපාඩම් කරන්න. What you need to do is you need to understand. Okay, මේකේ වචනේ මේ විදිහටම ලිව්වා කියලා කාටවත් මාක්ස් හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ. Okay, so for example, when it comes to here, so you may be given with a case study and you are required to identify the deficiencies in the system of quality management within the organization. So then in that case, you need to know what are the things which comes under, or what are the things which can be identified under these deficiencies. Okay, case study එකක් දෙනවා. ඒ case study එක ඇතුලේ තියෙනවා firm එකක internal controls, quality management system එකේ deficiencies. The question is identify and explain the deficiencies in the firm system of quality management. Okay, so then so you should know what comes under, what can be identified as a deficiency. Okay, remember that. මේ කිසිම විදිහකින් කටපාඩම් කරන්න එපා. Okay, it's a waste of time. Yeah, so the first one is a quality objective required to achieve the objective of the system of quality management is not established. Basically, the company has not identified what are their quality objectives. Okay, then the second one is the quality risk. I hope you all are not sleeping. We have a case study to discuss at the end. A quality risk or combination of quality risk is not identified or properly addressed. Okay, so this quality related risk, so there is a separate mapping to identify this quality risk. So I think I didn't upload that to the LMS. I will upload that. Okay, so depending on 5 components of the quality management framework, so we have to identify the quality risk. Okay, so what we usually define as a quality risk. Okay, all risk කියන එක නම් දන්නවනේ. Okay, risk is simply what? Risk එකක් කියන්නේ simply අපි risk එකක් කියන්නේ that creates an uncertainty, right? Okay, so what do you mean by a quality risk here is a risk that has a kind of reasonable possibility of occurring. Okay, a risk that has a possibility of occurring and also can adversely affect the achievement of quality objective. Okay, there is a there should be, when you identify the quality risk, so sometimes certain risks are not have high chance of occurring. Okay, some risk අපි identify කරගන්නවා මේව නම් වෙන්න බෑ කියලා. Okay, or there is very low chance of occurring. Okay, And then let's say that we identify certain risk as high chance of occurring. Okay, so we need to identify those risks, and those risks can have an impact on achievement of the quality objectives. Okay, එහෙම risk එක අපේ quality objectives achieve කරගන්න අපිට බාධාවක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. Okay, those we identify as quality risks. Is it clear, or you all are sleeping? Yes, certain definitions I haven't given on the slide. Okay, so you have to write your own notes. Could you please explain the risk? Okay, so when it comes to the risk, so I said previously that there are 8 components under this quality management framework. Okay, to identify the risk, we use 6 components. I will explain that later. Okay, so one of the components which come under this is governance. Okay, sorry, component. Okay, එක component එකක් තමයි governance කියන්නේ. Okay, that's a part of this quality management framework. Okay, so we have to do an assessment on so what are the governance and leadership related risks. Okay, මේවට ඇති වෙන්න පුළුවන් quality risk එකක් මොකක්ද? Okay, so let's say that the risk is the firm's leadership do not prioritize the quality. Okay, so shall I write it here? Give me 1 minute. Yes. Okay, so I'll write the quality objective first. Okay, so the first type of quality objective is let's say maintaining. Okay, so quality of, for example, okay, maintaining professional ethics, values, and attitudes. Okay, so this is my quality objective. Okay, so first we need to define what are our quality objectives. Okay, what happens with the risk is, so by implementing the quality management framework, I want to achieve this particular quality objective, that is maintaining professional ethics, values, and attitudes. Okay, but there can be a risk which prevents us from achieving this objective. Okay, which prevents us from achieving this particular objective. For example, one of the risks may be firm's leadership. Example, okay, firm's leadership actually do not prioritize maintaining, let's take this part, okay, maintaining professional ethics, values, and attitudes. Okay, අපි ඇත්තටම ඔබ්ජෙක්ටිව් එකක් තියෙනවා අපිට කම්පැනි එකේ ෆර්ම් එකේ මේන්ටේන් කරන්න යන්න ඕනේ professional ethics, values, and attitudes. Okay, but the risk is, so we identify a respective risk that is that which prevents us from achieving this objective. එතන ඇත්තටම ෆර්ම් එකේ leadership එක ඒගොල්ලෝ prioritize කරන්නේ නැත්නම් maintaining this professional ethics, values, and attitudes, that actually prevents us from achieving this quality objective, right? And අපේ leadership එක ඒවනේ කිසිම ගාණක් නෑ අපි professional ethics maintain කරන්න ඕනේ කියන එක. Okay, they don't care about that. Yeah. So එතකොට අපිට මේ objective එක achieve කරගන්න පුළුවන්ද? Because we always talk about the tone at the top. Okay, to create the ethical culture within the organization, the top should be ethical and they should be an example to the others as well. Okay, එතකොට මෙතනදී firm එකේ leadership එකම professional ethics maintain කරන්නේ නැත්නම් can we achieve this objective? Can we achieve this? If the firm's leadership do not prioritize maintaining professional ethics, values and attitudes, මේ නම් අපිට පුළුවන් මේ quality objective එක achieve කරගන්න? No, yeah. We can't actually achieve this particular objective. Okay, therefore this creates a risk. Okay, this is a risk. Okay, so there is a high probability of occurring this, and also these risks can prevent us from achieving the quality objectives as well. Okay, is it clear for you? Thank you, Radha. It's still not clear. තාමත් කාටද තේරෙන්නේ නැද්ද? Yes, okay or not, the student who asked that question? Okay. Yeah, thank you. So whenever you have a question, please ask. Thank you. Okay. So then we have the third deficiency is a response or combination of responses does not reduce to an acceptably low level the likelihood of a related risk. Okay, related quality risk occurring because the response is not properly designed, implemented or operating effectively. Okay, so in the first stage what we did was identifying quality objectives. Okay, මුලින් අපි quality objectives identify කරගන්න. Okay, then we identify the quality related risks. That is basically if you take the core of the definition, those are something which prevent us from achieving the quality objectives. Okay, so once we identified with quality related risk, we should identify, so what should be our responses. Okay, හරි අපි මේ එකක් identify කරගත්තා අපිට මේව risk එකක් එන්න පුළුවන් that the firm's leadership do not prioritize maintaining professional ethics. Okay, so then what should be our response? Okay, අපි identify කරගත්ත risk වලට අපිට තියෙන පුළුවන් response එක මොකක්ද? So what can be the response for this particular risk? Yes, what can be the response for this particular risk? Nathan, quality objective and then we identified the risk. So what can be the response for this risk? The response risk identify කරගෙන නිකන් ඉන්නවා. Yes. Yeah. Makes a succession plan. Okay. Leadership එක හොඳ නැත්නම් එයා වයින් කළා දාලා then එක්කෙනෙක් ගන්න succession plan එකක්. Okay, what else? Our response. එච්චරයිද? No. Okay. So then one of as suggested in the standard, okay, training, strengthen internal controls, okay, yeah, good, okay. So as suggested in the standard, so once we identify this risk, the best thing is we should have the governance and leadership policy statement. Okay, we should have developed a statement within the organization. So what are the responsibilities of the governance and the leadership? Okay. එතන අපි ඊළඟ statement එකක් clearly define කරපු statement එකක් දෙන්න ඕනේ what they should do. Yeah. So that is one of the best responses. Okay, let me type it here. Governance and leadership. Okay. Policy statement. And as you all said, so we can strengthen, internal controls and implement the code of conduct. Okay, good. Make succession plans. Yeah. So then for this kind of things, one of the best responses would be governance and leadership policy statement. Okay. So then we can identify, so if they do not comply with this particular statement, what we should do. Okay. So first we identify the objectives and then the risks and then the responses. Okay. So are you all clear up to this? Yes. Okay. So then the deficiency here is, so you identify these responses. So it can be one response or more than one response. Okay. To have a policy statement, and also as you all said, we can add have implementing the code. Okay. And then having training programs likewise we can have. Okay. So these responses does not reduce the risk to an acceptably low level. Okay. අපි මේ response introduce කරන්නේ in order to address the risk and to reduce or eliminate that risk. Okay. But the deficiency is where these responses do not have the capability to reduce this identified risk to an acceptably low level. Okay. මම identify කර දැන් අපි response එක තියෙනවා. හැබැයි මට ප්‍රශ්නේ මගේ දීලා තියෙන response එක එච්චර strong මදි. Okay. So this response do not have the ability to reduce the risk to an acceptably low level. Okay. So sometimes this can happen because the response is not properly designed, implemented or operating effectively. Okay. That is the third deficiency. Okay. So the first deficiency is the quality objectives has not been established, and then the quality risk which prevent us from achieving our quality objectives. The third one is we have set the responses to identified quality risk, but those responses do not reduce the identified risk to an acceptably low level. Okay. Again, mama dila dina responses high. Okay, that is a simple meaning. Okay, I have given the responses for the identified quality risk, but those do not have the ability to reduce this identified risk to an acceptably low level. Okay, the last one and other aspect of the system of quality management is observe or not properly designed, implemented, or operating effectively such that requirement of this SLSQM has not been addressed. Okay, so we said that there are different components within this system of quality management. Okay, so the different components are different segments, and these all the required aspects have not been implemented. Okay. අපිට මේ SLS QM එකේ තියෙන ඔක්කොම requirements ටික හරියට meet කරලා නැහැ. Okay, that is the last deficiency. Okay, any questions from your end? මොනවද තේරෙන්නේ නැත්නම් please ask. Okay. Regarding your assignment, I'll explain that in the coming week. So you all have to form groups. And remember, the AIS students are also here. I think Kubudu sir has informed you all that you all will not get the midterm test and the group assignment that we are giving for the BFA and BACC students. And then assignments take a BAIA students that are applicable in there will be given midterm test and group assignment for the BACC and BFA students. ඒගොල්ලන්ට දෙන assignment එක BIS ළමයිට applicable වෙන්නේ නැහැ. You all have to come to this lecture up to the 7th week. 7th week එකෙන් පස්සේ IE students වලට වෙනම lecture එකක් යනවා based on and audit software, so that based on that you all will get a separate assignment. Okay, the BAI students වලට ඒගොල්ලන්ට වෙනම assignment එකක් ඒකේ digital component එකක් තියෙනවානේ. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට එකෙන් හම්බ වෙනවා individual assignment එකක්. ඒ නිසා මේ midterm test එක සහ group presentation එක ඔයගොල්ලන්ට අදාළ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Okay, so then for these BACC and the BFA students, you all have to form groups. Okay, I'll explain the assignment in the coming week. You all have to form, you all have to form 6 to 7 members group. Okay, minimum 6, maximum 7. 7 වලට වඩා ඉන්න එපා. හිටියොත් අයින් කරලා වෙන එකට දානවා. Okay, so you need to form 6 to 7 members group. I will open a Dropbox on the LMS, and also there is a format to upload your group list as well. Okay, 6ත් 7ත් අතර ගානක් ඉන්න groups form කරලා LMS එකට upload කරන්න. ලබන සතියේ තමයි deadline එක. I'll put the deadline as when? That is on 10th. Okay, හරියටම next week Tuesday deadline එක දාන්න. So you all have to upload your group lists by 10th March. Okay, I'll open up the Dropbox by tomorrow. Okay, AI students ට direct මතක තියාගන්න lecture එකේ නැති අයටත් කියන්න. Okay, so we will go back to our lesson. Then we have something called the engagement documents. Okay, so there are a lot of definitions under the standard, but I'm taking only which are relevant for us. Okay, overall standard එක බලුවොත් it's a very lengthy standard. හැබැයි ඒක ඔයගලන්ට ඕන ටික සහ important ටික lecture එකේ cover කරන්න පුළුවන් ටික විතරයි ගන්න. Engagement documentation, that is the record of the work performed, results obtained, and conclusions the practitioner reached. Okay, so why it is important to prepare this engagement documentation? Let's say you check the vouchers. Okay, payment vouchers you check. Okay, and also you document, right? What is the voucher number and how much was paid, to whom paid, when it was paid, tick 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 that. Okay, so why it is important? You checked it. But why it is important to document this work performed? අපි ප්‍රාණය නම් අපි බැලුවා කියලා නිකන් ඉන්න. documentation කරන්නේ නැතුව. How did the payment එක වෙලා තියෙන්නේ, card the payment එක වෙලා තියෙන්නේ, ඔක්කොම check කරනවනේ. Fine. ඇයි අපි ඕක Excel එකේ හරි Word එකේ හරි අපි work papers prepare කරන්නේ ඇයි? Reason එක නේද? So it's a waste of time no. අපරාධේ. Yeah, very good, Nirma. So that is actually the audit evidence. Okay. ඒක තමයි අපිට තියෙන audit evidence එක. ඔයාට cutting කිව්වොත් විශ්වාස කරන්නේ මම මේක කරා කියලා. හැබැයි ඔයාට තියෙන evidence එක තමයි your work. Okay. Your work papers prepared. Okay. So preparing this engagement documentation is also part of maintaining the audit quality. Okay. That's why for all the, even we conduct a meeting with the client, we prepare meeting minutes, and it's a part of your engagement work. Okay, it's a part of your communication with the client, right? At the meeting, so it's also an audit evidence. Okay, so you should maintain, the auditor should maintain the work of the activities performed and what are the results. Okay, and the conclusion the practitioner reached. Okay, so usually you write the identified misstatement is below the audit misstatement posting threshold, and no material misstatements were identified, right? Okay, so similarly, no material misstatements were identified, and therefore the account balance is not materially misstated. Yeah. So finally, based on whatever the work you perform